female's body. But a lot of that is more than just, well, I will definitely stand by my statement that God makes no mistakes. A lot of what we're talking about here is socialized conditioning that happens after a person's born. So, yes,
If I may.
I can see you.
Well, I guess it makes sense that you may think that God doesn't make mistakes on
What was
putting
that
someone
first
in their
part?
body.
I'm sorry.
I guess I can see how you could see that God doesn't make mistakes when putting people in their body.
Mhm.
However, from what I understand with the Bible, He gives us free will. So
Well, without a doubt, He gives us free
if
will.
we feel more feminine, then we have the free will with the modern day technology to transgender ourselves.
I'll call you back in a bit, honey. Got some people in my office. Okay, bye.
I love your ring. Just saying.
Hearts are beautiful.
Continue.
So, being that He gives us the free will, wouldn't that also state that we have the free will to change our sexual anatomy if we feel that is who we truly are?
No, I don't think so, because there are certain immutable laws in the universe that, you feel like you can fly, you can go jump off the top of this building. Are you going to fly? No, you're going to end up dying, because that's a law that you can't change. There are certain laws put in place that we can't change, and God made us male and female, and we can try to say, well, I'm a male in a female body, or vice versa, So
I want to. May I interject real quickly?
Please.
Because I am ordained as a minister myself, and I think that the conversation, we're going to end up in two very different places regardless of where the conversation
I think
happens
you're
to go
probably
around the
right,
Bible. And spirituality and whether homosexuality is sin or not. I think the more important conversation in this space for us and friends is what's the legal recourse? What are the laws that are being passed? What are your questions about that? What are your concerns about how those laws impact your life? Because even though we may have different understandings of morality, there still is a separation of legislating moral judgment and legislating equality for people. And I think those don't necessarily have to be one on top of the other. So I think if we can steer our questions more towards the questions about legislation, I think it'd be a better conversation.
Okay, I have a question for that. So in, was it North or South Carolina? That
I think it was North.
yeah, in North Carolina they passed a bill saying like you have to use the restroom that is assigned on your birth certificate,
Right.
even if you have already transitioned and you look more like a boy than you do a girl, or more like a girl than you do a boy. How do you feel about that?
I
Like-
think that's a good law. I certainly agree with it, because, when you check the DNA, you can't change your DNA. You can't change your genes. If you're born a male, and you can do the whole sex change operation and everything, guess what your DNA is still going to be?
But some people were born
male.
in between, even with the DNA.
Yes, and those are exceptions. That's an exception to the rule, okay? And just to explain to you about that, there's always exceptions to the rule. And usually those exceptions to the rule, I believe, come about because of the presence of a three-letter word that has been in society ever since the beginning of time, which is, say it
Sin.
again?
Sin.
Sin, okay? In God's perfect will, He didn't want anybody to be, He only created two perfect people and put them in a perfect garden, and they blew it. And so all the rest of us are suffering those consequences. So there's somebody else. Yes, sir. What's your name?
My name is Milo. I was gonna,
Milo.
like you were saying earlier, and how, I forget what you said, something about conditioning. My mom, I am a trans kid. My mom fully accepts me. She loves me. She's a Christian. My brother's a Christian. They both call me by my pronouns. They fully love me and accept me all the way. And so, how do you feel about your son being gay?
Well, number one, my son is not gay. That was a lie that was put out there by the people who don't like me. But, you can believe what you want to believe, but he's not. But you know what? If he were, I would love him just like your parents do. But I would say to him, son, I don't believe you're right, and I'm standing on God's word, which never changes. It's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Excuse me. You bring some water, honey.
Yes, ma'am.
I ate some pizza while ago and it's
Catches you?
getting caught in my throat. But I would love him. I would always love my children. And any parent with a a decent parent is gonna love their children, no matter what they do,
Yeah.
you know. But he's not gay, but you believe what you want to believe about that.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I am a practicing Catholic, so I do believe in God. And
All right, I think we better.
although the